Welcome back, gang. It's Deltia from Deltiasgaming.com, and Hogwarts Legacy is about to launch, and in this video, I'm going to give you a rundown of 10 things to prepare for launch, which you can do right now. Before we begin, if you get something out of this video, make sure to smash that thumbs up, and if you're looking for more Hogwarts Legacy guides, walkthroughs, and eventually builds, check the link in the description below. Let's get started. Number 10 is up first, and that's Get Sorted. The sorting ceremony at Hogwarts Legacy is how the school places all new students into one of 4 respective houses: Gryffindor, Slytherin, Ravenclaw, and Hufflepuff. Each house has their own particular house colors as well as representative animal mascot. Once the game launches, you'll get a quest quite early on for the sorting ceremony, but why wait? On the Wizarding World's official website, link in the description below, you can start playing an engaging minigame right now that will determine your Hogwarts Legacy house prior to launch and do the sorting ceremony early. If you link your Warner Brothers game account and the Wizarding World site connected, your house can be transferred into the upcoming Hogwarts Legacy game. But that's not all. You'll receive 2 cosmetic items to wear in-game as well. It's quite easy to link your account, wizardingworld.com. You start and sign up there, and then you create a Warner Brother Games account. So you're going to do the sorting ceremony, you'll get a code, you'll link these accounts in the Connections tab, and that's it. You're all done. And now all you need to do is wait for the game to release. Now that you're all sorted, ready to jump in the world of Hogwarts, you're going to want to make sure to purchase the right pre-ordered version of the game. Number 9 is pre-ordered game editions. Hogwarts Legacy is set to officially launch on February 10th of 2023 for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. You can currently pre-order the game in one of 3 editions. The first is the standard, costs you $60, comes with the base game along with an Onyx Hippogriff mount. If you purchase this for PlayStation, you will also get access to a special potion recipe as well as exclusive Haunted Hogsmeade shop quests. Players who complete side quests and dungeons will get access to their own shop in Hogsmeade where they can sell items and gear at rates better than anywhere else in the game. Next up is the Deluxe Edition. This is what I purchased personally, costs $70, so only $10 more. It includes the base game, the Hippogriff mount, and 72 hours of early access to the game. This means anyone who purchases this edition can start on February 7th, and we assume this is going to be a midnight launch. PlayStation owners will get their exclusive recipe in the Hogsmeade's quest. Another edition that the Deluxe Edition comes with is a Dark Arts patch, which includes a terrestrial mount as well as a Dark Arts cosmetic, but the real kicker here is the Dark Arts Battle Arena, which was shown in the gameplay trailer, and it's an awesome epic battleground arena to test your skills in combat. There's also the Collector's Edition, which is $300. It has tons of stuff, real-life goodies, including wands and bookcase, but this appears to be sold out and is no longer available. Players on PlayStation 4 and Xbox will have to wait a couple extra months until April 4th to experience this game, and folks on Nintendo Switch will have to wait till July 25th. Now you have an idea of which game edition is right for you. Let's move on to number 8, and that's system requirements in game size. If you're going to be playing this game on PC, you're going to want to make sure your computer is up to snuff and you have a lot of hard drive space. PC players will need to have 85 gigabytes of space available to install this, and you might want to install it on your SSD to get faster load times. For minimum specs along with HD and Ultra HD, check out these images shown here along with, well, you guessed it, a link in the description below. If you want a little bit more detailed insight in how to get the most out of this game if you have a god-tier graphics card. Console players obviously don't have to worry about most of these kind of system requirements, but both Xbox and PlayStation gamers want to make sure they have the necessary amount of free space on their hard drives. Those with Xbox Series X are going to need at least 77 gigs of free space, while loading the game on an Xbox Series S will require 50 gigs of free space. At the time of this video, the exact space requirement for PlayStation 5 has not been released, but it's probably safe to assume anywhere from 75 to 85 gigs of space on the hard drive, considering you have an extra quest and a little bit extra data. Now that you got that out of the way, you're ready to go, your system's up to date, let's move on to number 7, and that's preloading the game. In anticipation of the game with such a large files, it's really important that players on all platforms have the opportunity to download the game early, get ready to go launch day. We're in the final countdown for Hogwarts Legacy, and while the game's official release set for February 10th, I mentioned you can get 72 hours early access and start on February 7th. You're already able to preload the game on Xbox Series S, and that's pretty much the only platform as of the making of this video right now where you can do so, but I imagine PlayStation 5 and PC versions will follow suit very, very quickly. So if you order this on PlayStation or you order this on PC and Steam, keep your eyes out and make sure you download because it's a big one. Moving on, we're going to talk about game basics and number 6. So there's been a lot of speculation about Hogwarts Legacy in the months approaching to its release. One of the most often asked questions I see is Hogwarts Legacy multiplayer? The short and simple answer is no. Hogwarts Legacy at release will not support any multiplayer or have any co-op capabilities. It's possible there's an outside chance the developers may release some form of multiplayer in the form of DLC. That's purely speculation and nothing has been hinted at or even discussed. Hogwarts Legacy will be completely single-player experience, will only feature PvE content. This PvE content is massive. However, with all the castles of Hogwarts, the nearby wizarding towns, Hogsmeade, Forbidden Forest, and you just name it, massive exploration, so it's a big game. Another question a lot of people have been asking is about Quidditch. Some of the trailers have shown clips of what appears to be students practicing on the Quidditch pitch, along with some leaks that showed this might have been actually included in part of the game early on in development. Unfortunately, the developers have clarified Quidditch is not currently playable activity in the game. So even if you saw leaks or other speculation, at launch, this will not be in the game. However, broomsticks are a mode of transportation, and there's all sorts of activities and ways to customize this and actually upgrade your mounts along with broomsticks, so there's a little bit more to it, but no Quidditch. And last month, a major leak saw information about the potential of the game's length, and it surprised a lot of fans. Estimates have placed the game's length at right around 35 hours for the main quest campaign, and if you're striving for 100% completion, you'll need right around 70 hours to complete all the quest achievements and collectibles, and I would assume this would be a lot more for someone like me that takes their time and explores the game. So from the leaks, it appears to be a robust and detailed game. Moving along, something you can do a little bit early is number 5, check out trophies and achievements. If you're planning on going for that 100% completion of the game, you may want to prepare for what you'll be facing by checking out the leaked list of trophies and achievements for Hogwarts Legacy. I'm not going to show these on screen right now in case you don't want spoilers, but there appears to be 45 achievements on the game, and as usual for most single-player RPGs, some of these are related to the story, combat, crafting, and so forth. So if you don't want spoilers, don't check it out. But you guessed it, link in the description below if you want to find this out early and prepare for what you want to do day one and unlock. Now you know about trophies and achievements. I messaged link in the description below 450 times. Let's move on to number 4, and that's story and some familiar names. So much what excites fans about Harry Potter series is the game setting. Even if the game takes place 100 years before the boy who lived. In the 1800s, getting to visit Hogwarts and the vast grounds surrounding is just a thrilling prospect. But for anyone who's a longtime fan of the series or who takes time to brush up on some of the lore and lineage of its characters, there may be some recognizable features and names in the wizarding world than just the setting. It's unlikely that any of the main or side characters from the original series will play a part of this game. That doesn't mean we won't get some of their ancestry. Over the last several weeks, Avalanche Software has been revealing the names and lineages of many of Hogwarts professors and who you will get to meet in the game. And there are a few that many Harry Potter fans will recognize from the books. Matilda Weasley is a kindly looking older lady with red auburn hair. Her future family will be known for the ginger hair color. I can say that, I'm a ginger. Though her exact relationship to the future Ron Weasley family is not currently known, there can be no doubt that she will have some connection to them. In Hogwarts Legacy, Professor Weasley is the school's transfiguration professor and also serves as much respected deputy headmistress. Another recognizable character in the game will be Headmaster Phineas Black. I think I said that right. Phineas is the great-great-grandfather of Harry's godfather, Sirius Black, and is notoriously one of Hogwarts' least popular headmasters. Maybe ever. Fans will get to see himself in action before he becomes a cranky and sarcastic portrait, providing reluctant assistance to Dumbledore in Harry Potter 100 years later. There's also some other familiar faces floating around. Nearly headless Nick in Gryffindor has been seen in some of the trailers and some of the footage. And also Professor Binns is already putting students to sleep in history of magic classes. And Peeves has popped up from time to time on a recent live stream, causing troubles for some unfortunate students. So a lot of familiar faces that really will make Hogwarts Legacy and Hogwarts Castle itself feel somewhat familiar. Now we're ready to prepare for something else, and that's number 3, the classes in the game. School isn't always as enjoyable experience for students. I know this from my high school days. But in this world, you get the opportunity to practice magic and learn spells. Students will be able to attend all the most important standard classes at Hogwarts, including Charms, Defense Against the Dark Arts, Potions, Herbology, along with several others, and attending class is likely the primary way you will unlock and or learn spells, potion recipes, as well as how you may level up your character's proficiencies in them. This is going to be a vital part of the game, and you need to be familiar with it. So even if you're exploring the vast outside world of Hogwarts Legacy, don't be skipping the classes. It's likely there's going to be a lot of puzzles you can't solve or dungeon areas you can't complete unless you appropriately level and have learned the required spells, which most likely will come from these classes. In addition, discovering potion recipes, growing plant ingredients, and taming magical creatures will all play an important part in making sure your character is both well geared and can self-heal while fighting magical enemies. Your level of strength and survivability will greatly depend on what you've learned in these classes and how you apply it. So be prepared. What are you going to focus on, and what are you going to tackle day 1? Speaking of combat and survivability, that's number 2. Let's prepare for combat. So speaking of enemies and talking about getting powerful and so forth, you really need to be familiar with how this game's combat system works. It's not Elden Ring, it's not God of War, but takes a little bit from familiar RPG tropes along with having its own spin on range, wizard, combat, and spells. You're going to encounter a combat tutorial very early on in the game that will teach you the fundamentals, but for the sake of this video, let me explain how that could look. This game is like other action-oriented games using a cooldown system on abilities, meaning you cannot spam or repeatedly cast very powerful spells. It takes time to fully recharge them, and you can see this in the UI as they sort of fill up on your screen. Your character will be able to swap specific abilities and spells on the fly with the D-pad or some other means on PC. From watching the footage, it seems the UI in combat emphasize the use of controller, so if you have an extra or you're able to purchase one, you might want to hook it up, because this control system might be very clunky on PC as it's heavily favored for PlayStation, which a lot of the footage and the pre-orders give you a bonus. The core combat in Hogwarts Legacy centers around casting spells along with attack weaving or using a basic attack to get combos going. The more weaving and putting in consecutive attacks, the better. The UI and system even has ancient magic, which acts like a super or ultimate ability per se from other games, essentially something super powerful that you can cast after a while in combat under certain conditions. There's also combat arenas, one we mentioned earlier, the Dark Arts Combat Arena, which is for the Deluxe Edition, showing just how compelling and nuanced the combat can be. While the game's core will be centered around storytelling and exploration, combat seems to have some depth along with gear and build crafting, so be aware this doesn't appear to be a walk-in-the-park Harry Potter clone, nor does it appear to be something as dramatic as per se as Elden Ring, but somewhere in between, so you're gonna have to brush up and get used to the combat in the game. Moving on to our number 1, which is, I think the most important thing, is kind of determining what your character is going to do and what kind of ending you're going to go for, because it has been confirmed there's multiple endings. There's a lot to do in the game from what we've seen. You know, potions, broom flying, animal taming, spells, combat, exploration, obviously. But there's an overarching story in Hogwarts Legacy, and players' actions and choices through the game can change the outcome both large and small ways. We don't know exactly how many endings, but the developers themselves have said and clarified there are multiple. So there's a couple of simultaneous threads to the main story which culminate together in the final climax. The player is a new student at Hogwarts, but for some reason yet unclear, starts as a late 5th year. They'll have some catching up to do, but will also come to find they possess a unique ability to manipulate powerful, ancient, hidden magic in the Wizarding world. The forgotten magic is now returning, and the player will have to uncover who or what could be behind the resurgence of this old power. At At the same time, the larger wizarding world is dealing with a goblin rebellion led by a goblin who despises the wizards for the way they have treated his people. In spite of this, for reasons yet unknown, he has formed an alliance with a man named Victor Rookwood, I'm sure I pronounced that wrong, who is the leader of a dangerous faction of dark wizards. Each of these individuals will likely have their own agenda and goal, and the player will have to make decisions along the way which will influence how the story plays out. Although Hogwarts Legacy does not have a morality system like those found in BioWare games, the developers have stated that the choices the players make will influence the type of witch or wizard they choose to become. So what kind of witch or wizard will you choose to be? I want you to get something out of this video and think about kind of the roleplay aspect of what you want to be. Are you going to play somewhat close to your real life persona, or are you going to do something way out and wild? You'll also have a couple of different save spots, according to recent news, at least 4. And when you start the game, you can be one of 4 houses. So if you want to try all 4, have different archetypes and stories, just keep that in mind. But your original playthrough, start thinking about what you want to do and how your ending, whatever that may be, will look like. That's a video all. Thanks for watching, and make sure to smash that thumbs up and check the links below. Last time I say that, for all the greatest Hogwarts Legacy posts. And if you want to watch this game live, make sure to stop by twitch.tv/Deltiasgaming, where my mom claims I'm the best streamer alive. Thanks for watching.